Finally, the day is here, April the 10th, 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Manchester City versus Liverpool at the Etihad. The title race or the title decider game is still on. Ishan is here with me. Ishan, thank you so much again, man, for joining us. And obviously, your insights are always great to have on this show. And
Thank
thank
you,
you
and
for
thank
being
you
so
for having
consistent.
me once again.
Yeah, thank you so much for being so consistent on the show from the very beginning, man. It's really highly appreciated. And
You're welcome.
guys, usually we are, at least I am so pumped up during these conversations, but today, I'll be very honest with you. I am not only freaking out, but I'm also very tensed because this is a crucial game. It's actually for both the sides, but mostly for Liverpool because even if we get a draw or if we win, even if we win or get a draw, we still have some really tough fixtures to follow through for that. But if by any chance City win, I mean, for me, I think the race is pretty much over because I do not see any other team, maybe Newcastle, maybe Aston, taking maybe a draw out of it. So that's just how it is. So that's how basically the crucial this game is. Am I right, Ishan?
Absolutely. I mean, it's extremely important for us, like for Liverpool, to win this game. I think, as you rightly said, that the run of fixtures which Liverpool has and which Man City have are totally, you know, we have very tough fixtures and they have relatively very easy fixtures. But that being said, I think the bigger part is that if City lose, then the amount of pressure on them, not only to keep on winning again and again, which is always there. And apart from that, I feel it's just going to be that they know that, we are above them. And then that catching up is not something which they're really, I'll say, good at, with respect to the fact that, when they're under immense pressure, they crumble most of the time. There is like, I don't think the, the squad is such that, which can actually take that pressure onto them. And I don't think Pep himself does that well under such kind of circumstances. And we have seen before as well that when they are put under immense pressure, they have a tendency to lose points.
I completely agree with you, and I think that's somewhere they have a lost point as well. Even when we won the title, the game against Tottenham, the game against Crystal Palace and Newcastle as well. Those were the games which were, you know, Tottenham game was obviously a high-profile game after in the very beginning of the season, and then came in December when there were a huge pile of fixtures, and they kind of they were not able to go through it. They could not power through the entire fixtures. So that's what pressure can really do for you if. And I think that's a huge problem, right, with this City team. That, in fact, not only the City team, in fact, the Premier League as well. You do not have enough teams coming at them, right? You do not have enough teams who actually go and say that, what, we're not here to defend. I mean, forget Atletico. There's an exception always there, right? That's
Yeah.
their mindset. But even see, Norwich B team has beaten them, right? uh
Yeah. So,
Newcastle has
how
beaten them,
how I
Crystal
how I
Palace have
look at
beaten
it,
them.
to be really honest, Paramay, that how I look at it is that the teams have kind of, they know that they're gonna lose the match against City. So what they think is that it's damage limitations for them. So they think it's better to lose 1-0 or 2-0 than to lose like 7-8-0. And whilst losing 7-8-0 and have that glimmer of hope that they might end up scoring and pinning them back. So there are not a lot of teams who really have the courage to go at them. Like, I don't think apart from, say,
Leicester.
Liverpool, Tottenham, uh, till an extent, maybe just on their day, like even West Ham might have a go at them. But
Hmm.
apart from that, all the teams in the past couple of years have kind of played like a low block to a decent mid block against them and just defended.
Hmm.
And they're just, soaking in the pressure and waiting for the counter to strike. I mean, it's not, I mean, there's no strategy is good or bad or whatever unless and until the match is over. You can't decide that. But again, like, I feel more teams should have a serious go at them, because if teams like Norwich, Southampton can really push them so much back. It's just because they don't have that much amount of quality. Then I don't know why the mid teams and the teams who are in the Europa League or like competing for the places in Europa League or Conference League are pushing City even further back. I mean, there are spaces which they leave open. There are ways you can get around City, and I mean you can see that with respect to how City have played against a lot of European teams, or how they play against Liverpool, and how Liverpool exploit their weaknesses. So I feel it's just a matter of courage which the other teams have to take against them.
Yeah, that's a fact, and exactly that's why, even if we win, we are still worried about it, right? And that's the whole point of it,
Yeah.
because look, I think apart from our game, the next game for them is gonna be quite crucial, right? It's gonna be against what, Wolves?
So if you see, Wolves is a very very well drilled defensive unit. Uh, I mean, Brighton is also a good team, but then they're kind of those outliers who perform like once or twice, really really good in the season because they don't have consistent players who are that good enough to churn those performances game in game out. But apart from that, I mean, probably West Ham takes points from them. Apart from that, I don't see anybody taking points.
Yep, yep. I think look, the whole point is, right. I mean, a lot of these teams are also, in the relegation battle. I mean, even Newcastle are just 34 points. Burnley can still cause a problem here. Everton are on 28. So, when you talk about all the remaining fixtures, so you have Wolves. We have somewhat, maybe you can say that Leeds are also not very safe. They don't have too much of games left. That's about it. I think
But Paran bro,
Wolves, West
the
Ham, and
thing is
Aston Villa.
that
That's it.
by the time City end up facing Leeds on 30th of April, that is like one, two, three more game weeks would have happened. And I have a feeling that
Yeah.
Leeds would be safe by then. So, I mean, if they are safe, then
Okay.
they don't have anything to play for, and it'll be like City will just go over them very easily. But if they are not
Yeah.
safe, then it will be a very, very
Hmm.
interesting match. Like, I think even the Watford match
True.
could become interesting if, like, Roy Hodgson somehow just, motivates his team to, get a result somehow or the other. And we have seen, like, a very similar Watford team take points away from us as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the Premier League. Anything can happen. Any team
True.
can beat any team. It's, apart from Norwich, any team can beat
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
But I just feel that when it comes to City, everybody is like, यार आ जाओ points ले जाओ हमसे
हाँ,
हम
वही
कुछ
तो,
नहीं
and you know what the worst part is? I mean, you look at this fixture. I saw our fixtures, right? I did not look at their
करेंगे.
fixtures at all. So
Yeah.
even their mindset would have been, what, guys, we need to be on the top of the table with some kind of decent, points gap, maybe till say February. If
Hmm.
we get that sorted, we have like maybe three, four main games, and then it's like, it's like a walk in the park for the next 2 months, right?
Yeah.
So that's how you look at the fixture,
So,
and that's
so
how
that
maybe
that
Guardiola
that's
is
why
also
that's
talking
why
about.
this game is so important in my
Yeah,
opinion. And if Liverpool somehow wins this game, I think the amount of pressure Pep and the players would be under is going to be really immense. Because then what happens is that the Wolves game becomes a must-win game for them. The
yeah,
Brighton game becomes a must-win game for them. So
yeah,
then, just like us, every game for them is also a cup final.
yeah.
And
Exactly, and
also, keeping in mind that we will be facing them again in the FA Cup.
true.
So I feel that it's going to be really, like really, really good for us with respect to psychological advantage if we can like beat them today.
And we will have to, because again, I think the whole point of discussing this entirely was that we definitely can't rely on anyone else. So that was the whole point of this discussion right here, that people, the teams don't attack them. There's literally, they're having a walk in the park in the past, what, 4 5 seasons now. So it's getting boring, it's getting irritating, and apart from a couple of teams, including Liverpool and Tottenham, I think there's one or two more who maybe get them some kind of competition. That's about it. So that's from the City's fixture. Let's talk about Liverpool's fixture. And the reason I'm coming to this in the very very beginning of this conversation and not straight away going for the lineup or the tactics, it's because first we have to understand what's at stake here, right?
Yeah.
The whole point of this fixture, putting out these fixtures just like this is, you have to understand that win or lose, it's still game on. It's still game
Yeah.
on, right? But if City win, then that kind of takes the bite out of the title race, and they may end up having an easier go. So, if they win, they can focus on the Champions League. But if they lose, that's gonna hurt them mentally as well. It'll hurt their chances in the other competitions as well. You know, so
Now,
that's how crucial this game is.
I think like, what now happens is that City have another game against Atleti in the coming week,
Yeah.
and Vonda is a stadium which can become really hostile, like extremely hostile. Like Atleti fans are rowdy, very very rowdy, and when Simeone starts pumping them up, it becomes a whole different ball game altogether at Vonda.
Yeah, but you
So
have to attack for that, right? I mean, you can't use that entire atmosphere for
yeah,
defending.
so that's what I'm trying to say. So the thing is that for them, it's as in today's game is as important as the other game, because Champions League is like one thing which City and Pep both want to win, and 1-0 is not that big a lead in any form against any team. So I feel that he might have to think about that, and like kind of be ready for that kind of match as well. And keeping that in mind, I think he might like rotate a lot of players. And I feel, although I feel that I know what he's going to start with, probably I think it'll be like Sterling, Foden in the middle, and Mahrez on the right. But it's going to be really interesting how City line up as well for today's game.
I do feel that Sterling may come up as a substitute to make an impact. Yeah, I do agree with that. So that's one. But so Atletico Madrid and City game is on the 14th. It's our time. It's gonna be basically on 13th their time, I guess.
Yeah,
Right. So that's what 3 days from now.
yeah,
So definitely, I think that's going to be crucial for them as well. And 3 days from now, we also have a home game against Benfica. So an away
yeah,
game for them at a hostile environment, and a home game for us. So that's quite that's decent. I think that kind of sounds good. But then again, they have something called squad depth as well. Like they have a different 11 altogether. To be really honest with you, so
yeah,
that's again what they have. They can, I mean, they're such a good attacking team, to be really honest with you, and I'm praising, they really do, right? But they are a good attacking team, credit where it's due. So they I don't think that they have any issue defending. The whole point is that they are a good counter-attacking team. They are a good they play good from the wing, they play good from the center as well with Kevin De Bruyne. And talking about these guys, let's talk about the real threats that we have in the City team against us. All right, for me, it's going to be obviously KDB. Will not underestimate him. Um, Number two would be Foden. I think his goal against us in that 3-1 or 4-1 defeat when we literally were playing drunk against them was, I think that goal was really, really scary. That kind of
yeah,
announced him on the stage, to be really honest. And because he's very pacey, he is very, very young. He's like, they literally got a replacement for Sane, who was literally a threat for us. So we
yeah,
are glad that Sane left. Now we have to deal with Foden. And number three, and I really hate saying this, it's going to be somewhat Bernardo Silva.
yeah,
For a very simple reason, he's an asshole. He's a complete asshole. I don't mind saying that. I don't give a shit about anyone who gets triggered by it. But the whole point is that the guy kind of creates a menace in the middle of the pitch with his
yeah,
aggressive playing. He contributes shit, right? His contribution may be shit, but the kind of aggression that he brings to the game, right? That's very, very scary at times, because he
so
can literally loop you in, and he can make you commit a foul which you don't want in a crucial area, or maybe even opt for a yellow card, right? And that's something that even Fabinho has to take care of. What do you think?
So I think, yeah, these three players are like, the top of the list when it comes to the most dangerous players in the City team. And I feel that with the amount of like the biggest thing with these three players is the kind of spaces they take, and it's like, they just occupy pockets of space and then utilize it really, really well. All three of them. And the thing with Foden is that, he has pace. He's a really good dribbler. He's a good shooter, and he can just move around in tight spaces really, really well. So what Liverpool are really good is like, squeezing in the space when somebody has the ball. But then at the same point in time, with a player of the quality of Foden, when he has the ball, he can like really like dribble past one player, and then all of a sudden, the whole space which we tried to cut out is not no longer, cut out, and he just brings in
Mm,
another player into to exploit the space.
mm,
So it's with Foden, I've always felt that he's somebody who's like, I mean, if Pep wouldn't have started him more games last season, he would have been off, because he is a player who knows that he is going to be one of the best, if not the best, in the world. So,
yeah.
and I think he's destined to become a really, really good player. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant, and it's going to be really important for him, for us to like, contain him today.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of wondering. Like, I was super excited that he was not getting the game time and he was almost about to leave them. But yeah, I mean, what can we say? The Manchester, they have some luck going around their way, like, for forever now. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, it's good for the game, right? That you have such a good talent in Phil Foden, coming along. So that's really nice to. It's actually nice to see him, irrespective of which team he plays for a very simple reason. You always liked, whenever Aguero or David Silva played for them, right? even
Yeah.
even when Sean Wright Phillips signed up for them, I'm like, what the hell are you doing for them, man? But I enjoyed him playing through the wings, man. Absolutely, the pace. And sadly he got a bit old as well at that point of time, but that's amazing guy. So yeah, they've had decent players in the past. They have good players now. It's gonna be a threat for sure. What are your thoughts about our midfield? I mean, we have already listed, we have listed Foden, KDB, and Silva. They literally all are midfielder, like in the midfield and from the wings, right? That's how they
So
like to attack.
the thing with City is this only, that they're so fluid. They're so fluid that
Mm,
nobody has a specific position as such.
true.
Like if you see Bernardo Silva, Foden, De Bruyne, they keep on floating everywhere on the pitch, and the chemistry and the dynamism between them is such that it's like, if say for example Foden is playing the right center midfield role and he drifts towards the left attacking midfielder position, for example, then the central midfielder knows that, the space which has been left open by him, so
Mm,
he will automatically cover that space, and the left center midfielder will cover the space for the center midfielder, and this dynamism is such that this happens within a matter of seconds, and
mm,
like, they cover each other really well. This actually allows De Bruyne, Foden, and Bernardo Silva, all these three players, because these three are like, those kind of players who just look for spaces and just go and use it as much as they want. So for the other players in the team, it's really important to give them cover when something like this happens. So that being said, I think we should not forget that Gundogan is also somebody who can like,
mm.
uh, cause us a lot of problems, like
So
a lot
many
of
players,
problems.
man.
Yeah.
So many players, man. You just can't stop
and and
naming them.
and it's like, if Sterling is not starting, then Grealish is starting. And if like, if like
Mahrez.
Silva isn't there, then Mahrez is there, and it's a whole team of superstars. And like, I mean, I think only Klopp and Liverpool can like beat him in whichever way we want to. That's the only way out. I mean, to stop this oil state. What else?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the thing, right? That's why, you are seeing me not that pumped up right now, because I'm just gonna give a like pump up reaction after the game if something happens, to be really honest. um, Saying that, you put out one thing really really nice, that fluidity in that pass, in their passing, right? It's something that has grown with time. I think, if I think every Liverpool fan knows, even who are saying that we'll win it 2-1 or 3-0, whatever. But you guys also do realize that we haven't won at the Etihad for a pretty long time now, right? And you know and the last time we even beat this team, uh, you know after that, you do see a kind of drastic change that Pep has made in his approach against us. He has kind of nullified our midfield at all. Even the previous game which we had at Anfield, we were getting dominated, right? And I'm not afraid to say it out loud, and I don't mean to be biased or something, because I don't want to be biased, right? I mean, let's be very honest. I mean, we were all there, we saw the game. I recorded the vlog. I literally came in all the way from Pushkar for that. I recorded the vlog, and I literally said at the very end that we got lucky, we got away with
Yeah,
a 1 point. That the way they
yeah,
were coming at us at Anfield, guys, I mean,
yeah,
you know look, I know it's Etihad, Emtihad, call whatever you want. You'll have those free flags, you'll have those loud noises, and lot loud noises shouting randomly. I don't know, they don't even have a song, to be honest. So but then again, guys, you have to deal with the 11 on the pitch plus the referees, the two referees out there, the VAR and the one on the pitch. So it's not going to be that easy for us, to be really honest. So I think we'll have to be really really realistic in what are we expecting out of the game, because to be really honest with you, Pep has found us out. Let's be honest here. We haven't won against them for quite some time now, majorly because they have literally shuffled the entire team, and we have just signed maybe a couple of more players, and the starting lineup, our approach has been similar. So uh, you know even right now, I mean, let's pick our midfield, right? Against Foden, De Bruyne, and Mahrez,
Rodri.
Sterling, or Brando Silva. Let's pick up what Henderson starts, um, Thiago starts, Fabinho starts, right? There you go. That's it. So apart from Thiago, I don't think that they are. Thiago may be a new guy for them. Luis Diaz may be a new guy for them. Rest we know what's the front three gonna start, right? It's gonna be the traditional front three: Salah, Mane, and Firmino. Am I right? Am I wrong?
I hope so. I think Bobby is really important for today's game. I think
Yeah.
he's one of the guys who can really trouble City, because I say that because he's. I mean, if there is one player which I'll say Pep would have wanted to have at City, would have been Bobby. I mean, he
Yeah, yeah,
will
he is kind of his player, right? The way
he
he
will he
plays.
will literally give everything in his power to get Bobby. If it, I mean, if that would have been the case, it could have been the case in the past few years. So I think Bobby is somebody who can change the whole outlook of the game, because again, like, the kind of spaces he takes up is so important, and how he'll link up, because our midfield is more of like a shield for the fullbacks. Like our right center midfielder and left center midfielder is like a shield for a cover for the fullbacks,
Mm.
and the defensive midfielder is just a shield for the whole defense. So
Ishan, sorry to
if
interrupt you.
Bob,
Can you just maybe put your camera a bit upwards, please? Because I mean, Twitter can only see you nose from your nose below. Uh,
oh, okay, sorry,
better. Yeah,
is it
better.
better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
No, so we are streaming live on YouTube and Twitter both. So
Yeah,
yeah,
okay, okay, okay.
yeah,
So yeah, that's what I feel. And I feel, apart from that, one thing which I think is going to be really really important is when City is attacking,
hmm.
and as soon as we have a turnover, and the amount of passes and the amount of time we take from going from defense to attack is going to be really key.
Yeah,
I say this because we have the pace of, say, Diaz, Jota, Mane, and Salah,
yeah,
whosoever is playing at whatever time of the match.
yeah.
It's going to be really important to push City back as soon as we get the ball.
True.
And I feel that is going to be the one of the biggest keys as well. because what happens is that, if the game is more so in like transition all the time,
Mm,
like we are attacking, for example, we are attacking, they are stopping, then they're attacking, we are stopping. It kind of favors us more because Pep has kind of made the team in such a way that it functions the best when they have the position and they have control of the ball all the time.
mm.
So I think if it is like one of those games wherein the whole game is moving around in transition, it's a box to box game, then I think it will uh, like favor Liverpool more.
Okay. Okay. Just for a second, shout out to Gaurav Bhai. Thank you, Gaurav Bhai, for joining. And thank you so much for your support. It's been a really long time since I'm back, and taking the time out to join us this live and ask your questions. Bhai, highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support here.
So this is what I exactly said right now, like what Gaurav bhai just
Yeah.
mentioned on his comment. This is what exactly what I said,
Hmm.
and this is gonna be really really important
Yeah.
because even their fullbacks tend to go up, join the attack. Although sometimes they are inverted, most of the times they are inverted. They're towards the central areas, which allows their center midfielders to move out, which gives a lot of space around on the wing for us to attack, whether it's for Salah or Mane or Diaz or Jota, whoever is there.
Hmm.
So I think that is again going to be a really really important factor if we can exploit that.
Okay, so let's stick to this topic in particular. Let's talk about this midfield. Let's talk about this counter attack that we're talking about, right? We have been sloppy and we have been very poor in terms of passing the ball forward recently as well. I do say that I like Henderson starting, but then again, I also see we know that he's kind of slows the pace down a bit as well. He's very good at it, but we have taken in this season in particular, we have taken a lot of games. We have played a lot of games where we have taken a lot of time on the ball. We have not passed it very very quickly. And secondly, we're also talking about out of form Mana and Saleh. Salah. What is Saleh?
Mhm.
We're talking about out of form Mana and Salah,
I
right?
think I don't think Mane is out of form or anything. I think he is kind
He's
of
gonna miss
very.
chances. We all know that.
That's okay. I mean, see, that's the whole point. I feel that like even the elitist of the elitist
Hmm.
strikers and goal converters have like a, I think, 20% goal conversion to the amount of shots they take. So that being the case, I think Mane is still on the upper side of things. So, but yeah, Salah for sure is having. I won't say it's like out of form or anything. I think he's just mentally fatigued right now, which is also because of the fact that Egypt did not win the AFCON, nor could they qualify for the World Cup. So that is another big problem. But I think this is the best game for Salah to come back and kind of just stamp the fact that he is one of the best players in the world right now.
Yeah,
And
he loves big games, right? He loves the big games.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we saw in the reverse fixture at Anfield, and it was like that goal. You were there, like when, at the screening. I mean, it was
I have it
crazy.
on my record. I was like holding the GoPro like this, and I was like, I did not make any noise.
Yeah.
I'm not shouting. I was like, I don't know. I thought it hit the back of the net or somewhat, yeah. I don't know what the hell was happening. Like, why
Yeah,
are they celebrating? What happened? Like,
yeah.
I just couldn't realize. So the quality is definitely there. I mean, obviously, I mean, see, we all have heard, right? I mean,
and, and
form is
and
temporary, class is permanent. Definitely, that goes for Mohammad Salah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think I don't know whether this might be a reason or not. Or this is just me thinking out loud. Maybe, just maybe, the contract situation is also playing on his mind along with this. Just maybe.
It
I'm
is.
not
I
so
think
sure.
he had
It
spoken
probably could
about
be
it after a
because,
long time.
like, I think somewhere or the other, even he would be feeling that not only his like agent, but even he would be feeling that, I have scored like 20, 25 plus goals, given 15 plus assists for every season I've played for Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I have won the Premier League, I have won the Champions League with them. What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, we are
And
literally talking about four trophies this season, right? So, I
yeah,
mean, Like
But you
it's
see,
not
like,
possible without him.
as a player, he the kind of performances he's giving is world class, and I think currently he's like one of the best players in the world, like if not the best. Like, it's that's relative for everybody to say, but then I think he's definitely in the top three players in the world right now. And you have to pay the top three players accordingly. Like, you can't have them on the wage of a squad rotation player. Not that he's on the wage of a squad rotation player, but like, just the feeling around the whole contract is such. I think Liverpool should kind of bite the dust somewhere or the other and get the contract done. And I think somewhere even Salah should understand that, at almost 30 years of age and his contract getting over at the end of next season,
Mm.
probably he might not have the best and the biggest of clubs, and those clubs giving him the fattest contract at that age.
Look, even
So
if he gets a fattest contract, is there's no guarantee about his game time, his starting time as well. Because I mean, we have seen it right with Gareth Bale and
absolutely. So
everyone
see,
else. We have seen it. Like there are examples all over the place that
absolutely.
we can
See,
talk about.
that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. I feel that, with respect to contracts, I understand. Even with respect to Wijnaldum, for that matter, like,
Yeah,
he got a really good contract with the PSG, but then the game time isn't there. He's not feeling good with the club, etc.,
yeah,
etc. And there's just this is just something, like, which you never want in your career, especially when you are at a very, very good place like Liverpool, where you are competing at a very high level, you're winning a lot of trophies, and the squad harmony is really, really high. So because of all of that, like, if you go, it can break you as a person as well. But I mean, sometimes you also have to think that, these are probably the last 3 4 years of my playing career, and I need to make the max amount of money. And again, when it comes to agents kind of want just the money, and they don't care about anything else. And I
yeah.
mean, we
He
have
that
seen
that
that
guy
with,
only has Salah right now to feed off. So and what can he do, right?
yeah. So I mean, I think Salah and Liverpool staying together for more years to come is the best outcome for both the parties.
True. Yeah, no, that's true. Anyways, we'll just move on away from this contract situation because that's been going on for quite some time. We'll just focus on the game. But yes, I think you have the point right. The contract situation, the international failure of Egypt to move on, and there are a couple of other things as well. Because if you remember when Salah came in for the very first season, he didn't score for 3 goals, and it was the pundits started shouting and barking out loud that Salah is out of form. 3 games without a goal and out of form, right? And then I
Yeah,
think the very next season or the next one, he went on 9 games without a goal. So I think the criticism Salah has compared to the praise that he gets is very very embarrassing. I think Mo Salah, look, the guy literally, look, Senegal versus Egypt. I was like, Senegal deserved to win because Egypt is just being carried out by one guy. Simple as that, right? That guy has so much of pressure already. Managing an international team, and obviously these useless competitions are always there. So you just need to give the guy a break, and obviously he just needs one good game and he's back in it. As simple as that. Yes,
yeah,
he hasn't scored an open goal since February. Blah blah blah. You can just boast about those stats, but the guy is not Mo Salah. Look, I'm not gonna say he's not about the goals. His record says about what he contributes. There's no one who can defend him like that. There's no need to defend him, to be really honest. But the run he makes, the kind of the defenders he lures into with himself, and the spaces that others get because of him, the assists he make, right? So there's nothing. There's no one who's gonna bench Mo Salah for such a crucial game for a very simple
yeah,
reason, whether he's on in form or not. So I think that kind of really sums up, the whole discussion about Salah. Mane, however, on the other hand, I think, uh, look, for me he starts, but उसका
yeah,
पता नहीं भाई कुछ उसका I don't know about Sadio Mane. Like, he sometimes he will be in the game, sometimes he won't. He will miss easier chances, he may take the difficult ones. So that's just how it is. That's just how Mane is, right? But definitely, he since Luis Diaz has come in, then he may have felt that competition as well. So that's good for us. That's good for him as well. I do not see Luis Diaz starting up, because I do feel that, bringing in Diaz and Jota when the defenses are not weak, but they are a bit tired. They don't want to run at like superbly against Diaz space and Jota space. I do feel like, I think there's something there for us, right? If we make that right substitution, maybe somewhere around the 77th, 5th minute, assuming the scoreline is not against us, right? There's gonna be something really good. There's gonna be This game is gonna be really in for us. So I do feel that, it's gonna be a good game, in terms of tactically gifted game. That's what I'm hoping for, because if anyone gets his tactics wrong, the game is lost. Doesn't matter scoreline, the game is lost.
So that's what, the stakes are so high for this one game. It's going to be, and it's always like that with Klopp and Pep. Like, it's more of like a battle of the managers more than a battle of the 22 players out there. Like, it's so fascinating to see how detailed and how well prepared both the teams are, and they're trying to exploit some or the other weakness of the opposite team. So I feel the whole rivalry which has kind of become between Liverpool and City is pretty interesting, because it's not like a traditional rivalry. It's like just a rivalry which has been formed because of the intense competition between the two teams. And I feel it's a rivalry which is kind of I think it was required also, because if you see, like, there was no other rivalry you know which could have taken center stage in England with respect to football. Like, you see the Merseyside derby, not much. Everton were Everton. Like,
Yeah.
right now, I can pretty easily say that the three best teams in Liverpool are Liverpool FC, Liverpool FC Reserves, and Liverpool FC Women's Team. So, I mean,
Champions.
so that's how it is. And then you see, like, United dropping off their like quality by a huge margin. Like, they're not the United they were so feared, and they're so revered as they were before. And
Mm.
again, the same thing. You can't even say the North London derby is like that huge a game now. So I think this kind of rivalry was needed in England, especially for the media, and that's why they hype it up so much as to,
Mhm.
like, that this is the biggest game of the Premiership and stuff like that. So
Mm.
I mean, as for the fans, I think it's really important for us to not get carried away and be like, give them too much respect.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
think it's and again, like, of course, City are in the driving seat, and I think Liverpool and Klopp prefer it like that. Like, that underdog mentality,
Underdog. Yeah.
which kind of Klopp revels in, and, like, he just loves that kind of stuff. So, well, yeah, like, I just feel that the first goal, or you can say the first 10-15 minutes of the game, are going to be the most important, like the most important, because it's going to set the tone for the whole match.
Yeah.
And, if any team gives up a goal in the first 10-15 minutes, the whole complexion is going to change. Like, if, say, for example, Liverpool score, then City are going to try even harder to, like, get back. And
We are
in
not
that
getting the
trying
possession in
harder,
this game, that's for sure. We are not winning possession game for sure. There
no,
is no
that
chance that
that's
we
that's
will have
stupid, I think.
maximum possession.
I
Yeah.
think
I
I
think it's going to
think
be a counter for us.
just
Has
trying to
hands down.
play against a team like City, trying to defeat them on a possession is
Yeah.
like it's one of the toughest things to do. Like, with the kind of depth they have, it's not that they are injury ravaged and you can, like, kind of play through them. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be really tough. I think it's going to be very even possession wise, somewhere between 60-40 for either teams. So yeah, I think, again, as I said, like, that transition from back to front is going to be the most important.
Yeah.
Midfield will
Um,
be better suited to nullify them, cutting back inside from the byline. Oh, I mean, see, again, Gaurav bro, the thing is that how I feel is that City are not a traditional crossing team, or they're not as heavy crossers as we are, or say other teams who play with wing backs or like attacking fullbacks are. But if you see, they still have good crossers of the ball.
Hmm.
Like, say for example, if Mahrez is coming in and he's cutting inside, his shot from the right on his left foot, as well as the cross which he gets in, is as good as any. So it's more so like, I think the space behind Trent and Robertson, both these spaces are gonna be exploited by them. They know that's the space we vacate, and I, I mean, they will probably use that, and I kind of, due to that, I kind of foresee that probably Mahrez and what do you say, Sterling start, because they need pace, which also suits them, right? Because Atletico will be playing like a low block against them, which is easier to play for, say, for example, a good dribbler like Grealish, or somebody like Gabriel Jesus, who can play in, like, with the games a bit more slowed down. Whereas Mahrez and Sterling are more suited to a more pacier style of the game. So yeah, of course, yeah, it's always better to yeah, like, nullify them. If we can nullify them cutting inside and let them cross, I think with Matip and Van Dijk in there, and them not having, like, I'd say, great headers of the ball. Like, I don't see anybody apart from, probably Stones. I
Hmm.
don't see anybody who's a great header of the ball, and Stones won't be like, at the end of crosses. He'll be like probably just set pieces. So
Yeah.
if we have to, as you said, like Gaurav, like we have to nullify them playing through us from the middle. That's the whole point. And if if we stop their through balls going in, then I mean half the battle is won there.
Uh, right. So Gaurav, bhai, to this point, my 2 cents would be that see, it's kind of practically impossible to nullify City from the midfield. Let's be honest. इट्स नॉट एंड हमारा मिडफील्ड वैसे ही आधे गेम में तो कहीं कहीं ना कहीं आलतू फालतू टीम के साथ तो गायब रहता है. तुम क्या एक सिटी के साथ एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो, कुछ ज़्यादा कर रहे हो. आई थिंक आर मिडफील्ड इज गोना बी जस्ट देयर टू maybe check on the rebounds, because अगर हम थियागो, again I'm assuming, अगर हम थियागो जैसे को कर रहे हैं तो we are basically doing for the attack, right? We are not asking Thiago to hold the possession. We are getting in Henderson, we're getting in Firmino, so वो ball control करेंगे, वो pace
So
dictate करेंगे.
so see, the thing is, like, what I look at with Thiago for this game is that is that when Thiago will have the ball, when their attack breaks down, when the City's attack breaks down, and Liverpool have the ball, Thiago is one guy who can pick out a through ball,
True
defense
one.
splitting diagonal
Yeah,
from
yeah.
anywhere of the pitch,
Yeah,
and that too with like very high accuracy. So that being said, I feel, and also the another point with Thiago is that he's a very good dribbler of the ball, right? So
yeah.
when you have to get out of those tight spaces
Unless
against City,
unless he gets a yellow card very very early in the game.
oh yeah,
Thiago.
that is another important thing. Like, I think if he gets a yellow early in the match, then I think he just then tones himself down. Like, he's not like Fabinho. Then, like Fabinho has taken a lot of yellow cards, but then his tackling is still immaculate.
Yeah.
Like, Thiago, I think, is working on that, and I think he is, like, his tackling and his aggression in general has become really well since he joined us, and I think that just speaks volumes about him as a player, because
Even
even
his
at that
give.
age, when you have won everything with like the two biggest clubs in the world, one of the two biggest clubs in the world, and you're still willing to learn and kind of expand your skill set, that speaks a lot about a player. And I think he's a world class player, man. I mean, he should be starting for sure.
Yeah, when he joined us, used to get yellow cards like left, right, and center. So thankfully, he's not doing that anymore, and hopefully, he won't. I hope that there is no red card in this particular game, at least on our side, and not even their side, because apparently we have something with the against playing against 10 man team. So let's, I think let's just hope.
No, but then
It's,
see, the thing is, City and Chelsea are completely different, right? uh,
they'll
I
park the bus. Yeah, yeah,
Chelsea are like more of like a, again, a counter-attacking team, and they kind of like to soak in the pressure and then use their wing backs as outlets. But when it comes to City is like they'll still play the same way with 10 men,
True,
so they don't give a shit about it. I mean,
true.
and I think that will favor us again, because if they're playing and they're trying to attack in 10 men, and then it'll give us more space actually.
Hmm. Gaurav bhai, definitely we'll also love to see Diaz, and I think Diaz has only had one bad game. बाकी उसमें बहुत छाया हुआ है बंदा हमारा तो definitely we want to test him out. We want to test Jota out as well. So it's good that we have two of these attacking options. I do feel that इनको अगर हमने आज utilize कर दिया, then we can maybe experiment with maybe Minamino और Origi against Benfica, one of the two. तो एक रेस्ट दे सकते हैं फॉर श्योर. आज का गेम बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. द नेक्स्ट गेम इज स्टिल दैट समथिंग दैट वी कैन वर्क अराउंड. वी हैव द टीम टू डू दैट. सो फुल ऑन यही हमारे
I
लिए
think
भाई हमारे डू एंड डाई है टू बी ऑनेस्ट. ये तो गेम हमारे लिए हमने ड्रॉ करा फिर भी दिक्कत है, हम जीते फिर भी दिक्कत है, क्योंकि हमारे जो आने वाले फिक्चर्स हैं वो ले लेंगे हमारी.
no, yeah, I see that's the thing. I think though, agar if we win this match, the kind of psychological advantage and the psychological edge we have, वो बहुत ज्यादा मैटर कर जाएगा.
नहीं,
Again,
वो
as I
वो
said,
मैटर
like,
तब करेगा ना, बिकॉज अगर इफ यू विन दिस देन Guardiola kind of gets into his overthinking mode and
हाँ,
he screws it up, right?
वही तो कह रहा
That's
हूँ ना,
one.
मतलब
But we
इ-
also
इ-
have to win the rest of the games. That's the problem
हाँ,
because our fixtures are very
एब्सोल्युटली,
difficult.
वो तो है ही है, बट मैं वही कहना चाह रहा हूँ ना कि both things will work in our favor if we win today. One, Guardiola overthinking and like crumbling under pressure along with the City squad, and the you know psychological advantage we have knowing that we are on top of City. So the thing is that what I feel is that when it comes to pressure, City are not that good at handling pressure,
No, they are not. They are not
right?
at all.
So agar
उनको
we
एक
can get a
कंफर्ट जोन है
win,
उनका, उनको उसमें खेलना पसंद है. When they are
हाँ,
put under pressure,
वही ना,
हैरी केन
मैंने
का
वही
जो
कहा ना,
तीसरा गोल हुआ था अगेंस्ट देम,
अगर
that's when they screw up.
हाँ, अगर अगर वो लोग कंट्रोल पोजेशन लेके खेलेंगे इस मैच में, जैसे फर्स्ट मतलब एमफील्ड वाले मैच में हुआ था,
Hmm.
तो दे विल डेफिनेटली बी द बेटर टीम,
Yeah,
बिकॉज
that's
दैट
what
इज
we're
देयर
going to
ब्रेड
watch.
एंड बटर. But
Hmm.
if we kind of break that flow again and again and again and keep it on a transition basis, then it'll favor us.
Hmm.
And yes, Gaurav bhai, like I totally agree with you that with Porto, Diaz was really really good against City. But what I feel is that with the kind of form Mane is in, and the kind of I will say overall experience Mane has, both overall and in with Liverpool against City. I think we might go with Mane as compared to Diaz. Although even if Diaz starts instead of Mane or like anybody else on the left wide forward position, I think the one thing which is going to be for sure is that he's gonna bring that uh, right back of City, which whether it's Cancelo playing or whether it's Kyle Walker playing, really, and he's gonna push them back and not allow them to come forward.
And it's Sadio Mane's birthday as well, so he turns 30 today. So
Yeah.
looking forward. Right. So that's about it. I think माने का डेफिनेटली यार स्टार्ट करना बनता है. आई थिंक द ट्रेडिशनल फ्रंट थ्री वर्क्स. बीच में हम जब इंजेक्ट करेंगे ना यार योटा या डियाज को, तब मजा आएगा जब उनके डिफेंस के अगेंस्ट उनको तोड़ेंगे. उनका ना रिदम ब्रेक करना है भाई, मेन बात वो है. पहले उनको फ्रस्ट्रेट करना है फर्स्ट हाफ में कि भाई चल, हम जो करना चाह रहे हैं लिवरपूल हमें करने नहीं दे रहे, हमने जिस तरह से फ्लूइड अटैक करना है. Number two is when we counter, that kind of breaks their confidence, and once you break their confidence, you shake the confidence, it's done. It's not like they're gonna get any kind of help from their stadium, their audience. So let's forget that. Wo, let's not even get into that detail. But also we have Vishal Bhai. Thank you so much. He has supported me throughout I started. So thank you Bhai for coming. हमारे डिफेंडिंग एरर का क्या करें परम भाई. एंड सिटी ने जैसे लास्ट टाइम किया था कि हमारा राइट साइड से पूरा अटैक ब्लॉक कर दिया, तो इस बार क्या स्ट्रेटजी होना चाहिए यार. देखो यार राइट साइड से ना, देखो एक एक साइड तो टारगेट करता है, हर टीम टारगेट करती है हमारी, और मेजरली वो ट्रेंड्स की साइड रहती है डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हुज हुज बैकिंग होम, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. राइट, पहले तो वेनाल्डम था, चलो रॉबर्टसन को पकड़ लेता था वो, ठीक है. अभी वो नहीं है. एंड सिटी का ये है कि यार दे गॉट अ लॉट ऑफ पेस, भाई दे हैव गॉट अ लॉट ऑफ पेस। तो ट्रेंड तो वन ऑन वन में तुम ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करो मत उससे आज। देयर इज गोना बी लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट देयर विल नॉट बी ओवर द टॉप बॉल्स एज वेल। बट भाई क्या बोलने यार, अब डिफेंडिंग का यार अगर वही बात है, डोंट मेक एरर्स, दैट इज इट। और डिफेंडिंग एरर्स का यार ये सीन है, देखो हाई लाइन में हम अब कमेंट नहीं कर सकते, उन्होंने रखनी हाई लाइन है। ग्वार्डियोला को भी पता है, हमें भी पता है, आई एम प्रीटी श्योर उसने उस पर वर्क भी करा होगा। प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम इस बार जिस टीम के अगेंस्ट हैं वो लोग एक अच्छी टीम है, उनके पास पेस में भी है, उनके पास क्वालिटी भी है। इफ दे बीट आर डिफेंडिंग लाइन, इफ दे बीट आर लास्ट line, there is high probability they'll score, unlike other teams which we haven't against us and we have got lucky in some games. That's my opinion. What's about you, Ishan?
Yeah, I feel I don't think that Liverpool defense is error prone. I think that is a gigantic exaggeration. I think Liverpool ka jo defense hai, it's one of the best in the world, if not the best.
Hmm.
And the way we play, which is the high pressing style, it cannot be executed without a high line. Because agar aap thoda sa bhi deep rahoge, it will allow their forwards, whether it's a central forward or it's a wide forwards, so much space behind the midfield and in front of the defense that you're giving them a strategy before even starting the game.
Hmm.
So what the high line does is वो vertically हमें बहुत ज्यादा compactness देती है, जिस
Hmm.
वजह से एक जब जिस जिस प्लेयर
Diagonal
के पास
balls.
जिसके पास बॉल होती है ना, उसको
Hmm.
लगता है कि जो सामने वाला प्लेयर है जिसको मैं बॉल पास कर सकता हूँ उसके पास उतनी जगह नहीं है।
Yeah.
एंड जब वो ये सोचता है ना, तो वो फिर ट्राई करता है कि अच्छा मैं एक लॉन्ग बॉल ट्राई करता हूँ या फिर
Huh.
एक थ्रू बॉल ट्राई करता हूँ। ठीक है, जब वो 1 सेकंड एक्स्ट्रा लेता है ना, उसमें हमारा प्लेयर बिकॉज हाई प्रेसिंग है वहां पे वो आ जाता है। मान के चलो वो नहीं आ पाया, तो लॉन्ग बॉल की भी जो एक पास एक्यूरेशन है, एक्यूरेसी रेट है, वो कम हो जाती है।
Hmm.
Adding to that, that we have a very very good sweeper keeper. Adding on to that, that Van Dijk and Matip have good recovery pace. So it just all falls in our favor. Why it
Hmm.
looks bad on TV is because of the referees. Because referees बहुत late whistle बजाते हैं, ठीक है। And second चीज is that अगर कभी whistle नहीं बजी because they try to see whether the goal is develop, like you know कुछ develop हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा। अगर मान के चलो वापस लिवरपूल के पोजीशन आ गए, so they won't raise the flag immediately and the game doesn't get stopped. So due to all of this, even with the high line, with them being offside, 99% of the times we still retrieve the ball back in our favor. So the outcome ends up in our favor, which actually means shows that how good we are.
भाई तुमने तो क्या
If
ट्विस्ट करा भाई, इस चीज को मैं मान गया। सही करा,
and
लेकिन बट या आई थिंक ओके, व्हेन आई थिंक अबाउट इट, या यू आर राइट डेफिनेटली। बट यू नो लाइक आई सेड भाई, वो ये है कि इट्स काइंड ऑफ बेस्ड ऑन assumption that we don't make any kind of error, right?
hmm,
It's kind
yeah,
of
I
based on
think
an
that
assumption.
जो हमारे errors है ना यार, वो errors जो होते हैं ना, like I'll say we are as good in defending as is like City or like any other top team.
We're better than them at
Huh,
defending because
yeah,
they don't
I
face
think
anyone, to be honest, to defend, first of all.
yeah, I think we just have like we have better individuals also, na, with
Yeah,
respect to
yeah,
our
yeah,
center back. So
yeah, yeah,
like that just changes the game altogether. Like
exactly.
you can't compare Ake with say even like क्या
We're
कहते
talking
हैं
about the best
Konate.
two centre backs in the Premier League right now. Simple as
Yeah,
that. We don't have to
absolutely,
put it
absolutely.
anywhere. And
Yeah.
literally the best two wingers in the Premier League. खत्म
Hmm.
भाई, बैक फोर का कोई तोड़ नहीं है।
हाँ,
ठीक है,
तो
गॉन आर द डेज ऑफ अल्बर्टो मरेनो, मैं क्लॉप से
अब
था कि बैक फाइव हमारा बेस्ट है, वो बात वो गई, वो डिफेंस जा चुका है, टचवुड जा
uh,
चुका है, अभी वापस ना आए। बट देन अगेन डेफिनेटली यार देखो वही बात है कि देखो वी हैड गेम्स अगेंस्ट पीएसजी like the before season when Salah made mistakes. We have this season we have Thiago made mistakes. We have Mane randomly making mistakes. We have
hmm,
Henderson as well, who was criticized in a couple of games as well. Then he has bounced back into form. So
yeah.
बस वही चीज है कि भाई खराब गेम किसी का ना निकले। आई थिंक दैट इज वन ऑफ द मोर क्रूशियल थिंग्स। इट्स नॉट अबाउट entirely about the high defensive line and all. See, again, like I said, Pep ने देखा है वो, he has researched on it, he has worked around it. He'll do it in the training camp. They will make those runs. Simple as that, we know it. Everyone knows it, right? बर्नली करता है, ये क्या चीज़ है? ठीक है, तो वो डेफिनेटली होने वाला है। बट द होल पॉइंट इज कि यार, डू वी यू नो वी नीड टू अवॉइड गिविंग देम दो चांसेस। एंड टू बी ऑनेस्ट, टू योर पॉइंट एज वेल, ईशान, I do not feel that this is going to be a high pressing game from our perspective. अगर
Okay.
हाई पर्सपेक्टिव गेट भाई अगर हम एनफील्ड में नहीं कर पाए, तो तुम्हें लगता है कि हम वहां पे कर पाएंगे?
यार
और गिव देम द
एनफील्ड वाले
अपॉर्चुनिटी।
यार एनफील्ड वाले गेम में ना, लाइक व्हेनेवर वी वर प्रेसिंग ना, एंड आल्सो अनदर थिंग, इफ यू रिमेंबर एनफील्ड में वी वेंट विद अ 4-2-3-1 and not a 4-3-3.
हम्म।
And at that point of time, that 4-2-3-1 was relatively new for us as well. So
हम्म।
that was also a slight gamble which Klopp took in that match.
हाँ, यस, या बहुत
And
ओपन स्पेसेस थे बॉस।
हाँ, because वही बात है, like वो उस टाइम पे, I mean, we were very very new with the 4-2-3-1 system, and मतलब बहुत ज्यादा जगह खुली मिल रही थी सिटी को, जो मतलब नहीं मिलनी चाहिए थी उन्हें। बहुत गलत गलत स्पेसेस जगह पे मिल रहा था, बहुत सेंट्रल एरियाज में। तो आई थिंक Klopp will probably go with it, like our usual 4-3-3. But if we go again with the 4-2-3-1, I mean,
आई डोंट थिंक सो।
I mean, I wouldn't want, because it's as simple as that. If something is working, don't change it, something like
या,
that. But you never know. Like probably Klopp might have seen something which might work better in a 4-2-3-1 for us. But let's see. I mean, if 4-2-3-1 happens, then we definitely know that, uh, we are probably playing Salah, Bobby, and probably even Diaz, if not anybody else. So काफी इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा।
4-2-3-1, I think that's something that we can do maybe towards the end of the game. Maybe, when we make those substitutions, we can put Salah up front or Diaz wide, something like that. Jota up front,
तो
maybe. You
यार
never know.
वही बात है ना, देखो अब ये जो 4-2-3-1 है, इट काइंड ऑफ बिकम्स इनटू अ 4-4-2 ऑफ सॉर्ट्स व्हेन द अदर टीम
हाँ,
हैज द बॉल।
मतलब like so
तो
4-3-1 after substitution. Let me imagine, right? Jota पहला, ठीक है. Then you have Diaz, ठीक है. Then you have what?
बॉबी,
Mane, Bobby, Salah.
नहीं नहीं, पांच हो गए तो। बेसिकली जोटा अप टॉप,
हाँ, सॉरी सॉरी,
जोटा जोटा
Jota
और
up
माने
top.
अप टॉप बेसिकली।
हाँ,
बॉबी इन द 10 रोल, सला ऑन द राइट,
5 स्ट्राइक खिला
Diaz
दिया
or
मैंने.
Jota or Mane on the left. So either, like whatever permutation happens.
मैं ज्यादा एक्साइट हो गया, मैंने 5 स्ट्राइक खिला दिए. That's the problem. So
तो
हाँ, या
वही,
ये
आई थिंक उसमें फिर थियागो एंड ये फबीनियो खेलेंगे।
वेरी रिस्की यार. The
यार
ball,
रिस्की
the
है,
transition will be very tricky for us.
प्लस आई फील दिस इज वन ऑफ दोज गेम्स वेयर we need Henderson. And I say that because, like, in order to calm the nerves down, in order to also make sure that we are like in the game all the time. Like, because he's
Yeah.
such an effective communicator on the pitch, he might not be the best player in the Liverpool starting 11, leave the Premier League or the world or whatever. But the effect, the psychological effect he has on the team is immense, which is like something which you cannot quantify. So I feel that Henderson should start, and we should go for a 4-3-3 with Fabinho and Thiago along with them. And I think probably Bobby, Mane, and Salah. That's what
Bobby.
I would matlab,
हाँ.
would prefer, because, like, I feel these are the three best suited players for this game. But you never know. Like whosoever Klopp chooses, I will all
Obviously,
of course
obviously.
back them till the
हमें
end,
तो
and I'm sure like he would choose something with something in mind. So yeah,
डेफिनेटली, एंड थैंक यू सो मच गौरव भाई. मेरा सिर्फ अकेले का नहीं है भाई. ईशान, ऋत्विक, सलिल, जितने लोग भी आते हैं, आप लोग भी आते हो, तो अच्छा लगता है. थैंक्स सो मच फॉर द अप्रिसिएशन. रियली रियली अप्रिशिएट कि अभी तक टिके भी हुए 1 घंटे हो गया. वैसे ज्ञान बांटे जा रहे हैं हम लोग. दिस दैट्स द थिंग, दैट देयर सो मच टू टॉक अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर गेम. देयर सो मच ऑनलाइन, राइट? और जैसे आपने कहा अभी ईशान, आई एग्री. फ्रंट थ्री तो ठीक है यार. मिडफील्ड, डिफेंस, आई थिंक अगेन, Salah, sorry, um, um, Bobby, Salah, Mane, Thiago, Henderson, and this game literally cries out for Henderson at least for the first 60 minutes. I think that's what we are looking at. मेरे को ना
Yeah,
लिवरपूल 1920 वाला बहुत पसंद था, पता है क्यों? बिकॉज जो स्टार्टिंग में हम क्या करते थे ना, हम लोग 5 मिनट में हमने एग्रेसिव हमने प्रेशर करा, ठीक है, हम उनको टेस्ट कर रहे हैं बेसिकली टीम को 5-10 मिनट के लिए स्टार्टिंग ऑफ द गेम, कि बॉस तुम्हारे में अंदर कुछ है, तुम बुखलाए हुए हो कि तुम प्रिपेयर करके आए हो, तुम्हारी पासिंग की फ्लुएंसी कैसी है, ठीक है। हम टेस्ट कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद फ्रॉम द 12th 15 minute what we do is we kind of pace down, we kind of study the opposition, right? This was kind of what going on in the title winning season. We used to study the opposition, then we used to again inject some pace somewhere around the maybe the 35th or the 40th minute towards the end of the half to see again कि let's have a go again and high pressure करते हैं, let's see कि हाफ टाइम के पहले हमारे पास गोल आता है कि नहीं। then halftime, it was completely different. Attack, attack, attack. That's literally how we went, and that's what I have observed in the 1920 season. And I sincerely hope that if we can, do that observation in this particular game as well, bringing in Henderson in, because he's the guy who can take the pace off City as well. He will keep the ball, but I think he can also draw a lot of fouls from them, right? So
yeah,
that's fun. And I think it's very, very important for them to not be able to communicate with each other in the middle of the pitch. क्योंकि जहाँ वो घुल मिल गए तीन यार, वो हमारी लग जाएगी लंका। तो हमें वो चीज़ बेसिकली एक ये कॉमन सेंस की बात है यार कि यार हमें बस अवॉइड ही करना है, राइट? और आई होप दैट मेक्स सेंस। आई होप आई डिडंट से समथिंग रॉन्ग। विशाल, आपने काफ़ी हद तक क्लियर कर दिया मेरा क्वेश्चन। एंड ये रॉड्री फाउल करेगा, इसका क्या करें? लास्ट मैच में भी हमारे अगेंस्ट ही रेफ ने, अरे यार मैं क्या बोलूं भाई।
यार विशाल भाई, ये एक ऐसी चीज है जिसका कोई भी कुछ नहीं कर सकता। एंड आपने देखा ही होगा वो जो सिटी और एवर्टन गेम था, उसमें मतलब एक क्लियर कट हैंडबॉल था, लाइक क्लियर कट हैंडबॉल था
अगर
रॉड्री
वो
का
रेलीगेट हो गए
लिवरपूल
ना
पे। और भाई अगर वो रेलीगेट हो गए, और वो अगर उस गेम के रिजल्ट के पॉइंट्स की वजह से, मार्जिन से हुए, आई थिंक दे शुड
सू
डेफिनेटली sue PGMOL and the FA if not anybody else. I mean, बहुत ही घटिया डिसीजन था। लाइक दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच आई थिंक आई आल्सो tweeted it saying that my grandmother would have given a better decision than those
या
qualified referees.
या
So it's as bad as that. I mean, and यार देखो, रॉड्री का तो काम ही है फाउल करना। तो he is, I'll say, like he's the best player who commits tactical fouls. Like there is nobody better than him and Fernandinho. उनके अंदर मतलब आई थिंक पेप ने इतना सही तरीके से वो सिखा रखा है टैक्टिकल फाउल्स कैसे और कब करना है। दोनों बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। लाइक अगर आप देखोगे ध्यान से, सिटी कैसे कब टैक्टिकल फॉल्स करती है, एंड दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच आई थिंक इवन क्लॉप हैज लर्नड फ्रॉम सिटी। आई मीन, probably he might have known before, but I mean, from implementation and of implementational observation, ये मेरा point of view है। I'm not saying कि
कोई बात नहीं, इट्स ओके,
क्लॉप
डोंट वरी डोंट वरी
क्लॉप
डोंट वरी।
का छोड़, अरे नहीं यार, लोग बहुत गलत तरीके से लेते हैं। I'm not saying क्लॉप is worse than Guardiola or Guardiola is way better, blah blah blah.
बोल दो बोल दो।
I think जो एक, जब गेम टूटता है, लाइक जब when there's a turnover, जो वो एक पास जाता है ना, जिससे पूरी गेम, मतलब जो एक, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल डिफेंडर ने बॉल ब्लॉक करी, उसके पास आए, पर उसने मिडफील्डर को दिया, मिडफील्डर ने थ्रू बॉल डाली फॉर एग्जांपल फॉरवर्ड को। तो अगर आप देखोगे सिटी और लिवरपूल उस डिफेंडर पे फाउल करेंगे, मिडफील्डर पे नहीं करेंगे। बिकॉज मिडफील्डर पे किया आपने तो आपको येलो कार्ड मिल जाएगा, आपने फॉरवर्ड पे किया तो प्रोबेबली रेड भी मिल सकता है। बट अगर आप डिफेंडर पे करोगे पहला फाउल ही, ठीक है, तो आपको कभी भी कार्ड नहीं मिलेगा। बिकॉज देन यू आर जस्ट ट्राइंग टू विन द बॉल एज
या
सुन एज यू लूजिंग इट।
या
So that is the level of awareness which these two managers have incorporated in their team, especially City. City though is like a master of doing these tactical fouls, and Rodri and Fernandinho especially are way good at like reading this and like committing these fouls.
या ट्रू। तो आई गेस आई डोंट हैव एनीथिंग टू ऐड। आई थिंक दैट सिंपली पुट, टू बी रियली ऑनेस्ट, ये है विशाल भाई को, मिडफील्ड पूरा ओपन हो जाएगा हमारा अगर 5 खिला दिए तो। परम भाई, हाँ भाई सॉरी यार, ज़्यादा एक्साइट हो गया मैं भूल ही गया कि भाई क्या सीन है। मेरा मेरा बेसिकली एम ये था कि मेरे को जोटा और फर्मिनो को खिलाना था साथ में, क्योंकि फर्मिनो में
Hmm.
था कि मिडफील्ड से गेम कंट्रोल करे, ही काइंड ऑफ ब्रिंग्स इन द डिफेंडर्स ऑन टू हिम, और फिर डियाज योटा साला जो बंदा फ्री हो भैया उसको पास कर दे, दैट वो बेसिकली माय आइडिया। तो सॉरी आई गॉट अ बिट ओवर एक्साइटेड, बट इट्स ओके यार, कौन सा मैं कौन सा गेम मैनेज कर रहा हूँ, इट्स ओके, जब तक मैं मैनेज कर रहा था ठीक है। अगर लाइनअप मेरे ऊपर होता तो गए थे आज। So yeah, I guess so. That's the thing, right? With I think you have put it very, very profoundly. That again, like we discussed earlier, right? That how this team has grown, right, in the past 4 5 years. So I think that puts into consideration कि इन्होंने किस तरीके से सब tactics में handle करें हैं. Now we have talked, we have talked about um, the plus points of both the sides. We have talked about the threats of from both the sides, right? Let's talk about weaknesses. What weaknesses do City and Liverpool have?
Hmm. Like Liverpool की weakness, I won't say it's a weakness, but it's just that वो fullbacks के पीछे जगह रह जाती है because our
Hmm.
fullbacks attack so much. तो वो जगह is something which I think सारे teams try करती हैं exploit करने की. And apart from that, if you talk about City's weaknesses, City does not have any like weakness as such. Like there is no weakness
Individual
out
कुछ
there.
नहीं है. Hmm.
Individually तो कोई weakness है ही नहीं. Even like as a team, I don't think they have that much weakness now. Like a couple of seasons before, they were really weak on the counter and पूरा काफी खुला रहता था उनका.
Hmm.
But not anymore. They have changed the structure a bit while defending counters. So that has made them really stronger. But I feel that अगर पहले 10 मिनट में या 15 मिनट में we make good chances. Again, as I said before, like City is not a great team who deals really well with the mental pressure. So I think it'll be really, really good for us, and like we'll be in the driving seat because of that.
Hmm. Fair enough. I
It's
think that's a
it's
good
it's,
observation.
it's as easy as like say for example, Mane winning a 1v1 with Kyle Walker and putting a decent ball inside, which creates probably a corner. Like it is a very simple and small thing, but like, in that 1v1 battle between Kyle Walker and Sadio is already one up.
Hmm.
And if this starts happening in the first 10 15 minutes, थोड़ा regular pattern बन जाए इसका, like
Hmm.
whether it's from our right or our left, wherever. तो
Hmm.
what starts happening is that City ना काफी ज्यादा pressure में crumble करने लग जाती है, and especially against us, it's something which we have seen again and again, that City against us, they are really pumped to play against us. But if we push them back again and again, they will crumble, and it will lead to like really really good and simple chances for us. But वही है, I feel that there is no weakness as such.
Hmm. That's true, and that's why we're having a very very serious conversation. Unlike most of our chats, तो
Yeah.
भाई वही है कि फटी तो पड़ी है डेफिनेटली, हम झूठ नहीं बोलेंगे. बट अगेन इट्स अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट गेम लाइक वी सेड अर्लियर. लिवरपूल के वीकनेस.
वही full backs के पीछे वाली जगह, that's it. I mean, it's not a weakness, it's just a space which will
It's
always be there.
basically something that kind of people target, and every now and then वो I think एक tactical advantage कह सकते हो उसको, maybe for the opponent.
Yeah, I don't think it's an advantage as such. It's just that the the advantage it gives us in attack, it gives Liverpool in attack, is way more than what it gives the opposition team. Because
Yeah,
अगर
definitely.
आपको वो वाला स्पेस अटैक करना है, सबसे पहले आपको जो आप लॉन्ग बॉल डालोगे उसकी एक्यूरेसी बहुत ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. सेकेंड चीज, जो वहां पे आपका फॉरवर्ड या विंगर जो रन मार रहा है, उसकी रन की टाइमिंग और बॉल कंट्रोल बहुत ज्यादा एक्यूरेट होना चाहिए, राइट? तो कीपिंग दीज टू थिंग्स इन माइंड, दिस इज लाइक the two very tough things to execute on the pitch. Not, I mean, and with City, nothing is tough, but still, that's a tough thing because again, Jesse Ball. हम लोग लूज करते हैं, हम लोग उसी टाइम पे प्रेशर डालते हैं, तो प्रेशर में वो लॉन्ग बॉल डालना विद एक्यूरेसी एंड देन द प्लेयर मेकिंग द राइट रन एंड कंट्रोलिंग द बॉल एंड देन मेकिंग एन अटैक, it's very difficult, and at the kind of pace
Hmm.
usually a City Liverpool game is played at.
That's true. I
So
think
I think it's something like how Klopp would think is that, the advantage of leaving that space behind is way more than the disadvantage it may have.
right. All right, guys.
And plus,
So
what helps us is like Trent and Robertson की recovery speed बहुत ज़्यादा है,
hmm,
and like the right center mid and the left center mid know that they have to get back irrespective of whatever's happening, whether Trent is coming back, whether Robertson is coming back or not, to recover. तो वो तो उनको जाना ही जाना है. तो वही है, I think our team is drilled to uh, play if those spaces are exploited on the regular.
okay, yeah, I guess that's fair assumption. मेरा तो बेसिकली ये था कि अगर लिवरपूल की वीकनेस की बात करें तो आई थिंक if they are very very fluid in their game, I think we are screwed for a very simple reason, क्योंकि आप उनको कॉन्फिडेंस दे रहे हो. आई जस्ट फील दैट इसमें इंडिविजुअली आई थिंक बोथ टीम्स हैव रियली गुड प्लेयर्स, टैक्टिकली ऑल्सो दे हैव. अगर कहीं एरर हो, अगर कहीं दिक्कत होगी तो आई थिंक दैट्स गोना बी इंडिविजुअल एरर्स. That just how I feel that how this game will be decided, if it will be decided. Although I'm okay with the 1-1 draw, to be really honest, I think I'm pretty much okay with that right now, um, because it will be better than losing. If we can win, there's nothing better than that. I don't mind a 2-0 win. I don't mind a 2-1 win. I don't mind a 7-6 win. And yeah, so yeah, guys. So I guess that's about it. We wanted to talk about more about everything, but I think this is about it. I'll just leave you with this lineup that they faced against Atletico Madrid. This is the lineup that City had, and this is the same lineup that you guys can expect most probably, I guess.
I guess, I mean, because I feel that Sterling and Mahrez तो पक्का खेलेंगे ही खेलेंगे. I mean, and
Starting 11.
again,
Starting 11.
हाँ, हाँ,
Okay.
I think because the pace which they offer is so good that,
Hmm.
and the fullback के पीछे वाला जगह is what every team exploits. So I think वो तो रहेगा ही रहेगा.
स्टर्लिंग
Plus, I
मार्स
feel
खेलेंगे तो फिर सिल्वा और उसका क्या होगा, फोर्डन का?
नहीं, फोर्डन तो लाइक सिल्वा मिडफील्ड में जाएगा, फोर्डन
हम्म,
फॉल्स नाइन खेलेगा,
हाँ.
एंड रॉड्री और De Bruyne बाकी दो सेंटर सेंटर मिडफील्डर्स रहेंगे, एंड आई
अच्छा, तो
थिंक काइल
गुड
वॉकर राइट बैक,
गुंडोगन
कैंसेलो
सब आएगा.
लेफ्ट बैक. गुंडोगान का कैसा रहेगा वो देखना पड़ेगा. आई डोंट नो वेदर ही प्ले आइदर गुंडोगान or whether he starts Bernardo Silva as the right wide forward. वो थोड़ा सा, I mean, will be something which we'll have to look out for. I think Cancelo left back, Walker right back, and Stones and Laporto center back pairing with Ederson behind.
या आई थिंक फेयर इनफ. गुंडोगन मेरे को लगता है कि डेफिनेटली बाद में आएगा शायद, तो लेट्स सी हाउ दैट वर्क्स आउट. ऑलराइट गाइस, आई थिंक थैंक यू सो मच फॉर coming in. It's been over an hour. We have some really really good discussions, some really good points made by Ishan. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for all the detail that we have worked on strategy, we worked on lineup, we have worked on everything. Starting lineup हमने decide कर ली, हमने बात कर ली. हमारा predictions आप करते नहीं हो. मेरा यार यही रहेगा कि इट्स गोना बी अ टफ गेम. आई जस्ट होप दैट इट्स मे बी I'll take a 1-1 draw and see how the rest of the league goes, because I won't risk losing points, to be really honest. That's one. So happy with 1-1 draw, 2-1 2-1 victory. I have absolutely no issues with that at all. So whatever suits us, whatever is the best for us, I'm happy with that. So guys, that's about it. And thank you so much, guys.
If
And
you ask me, Param bhai,
बता
any
रहे हो?
kind of any kind of victory,
अच्छा.
कैसी भी जीत जाए बस, I don't care.
Hmm.
I don't care. I mean, even if Allison scores a header or a goal in the stoppage time again, कर दो भाई बस. This game has to be won no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very very crucial game, man. Still tensed, like डेढ़ घंटा बात करने के बाद भी almost still tensed. So I think that the expression says a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's very very crucial game for us, man. I mean, हम एक ऐसे क्लब हैं जो भाई गंदा मेहनत करते हैं भाई लिटरली जीतने के लिए, और इस सीजन हम मल्टीपल कॉम्पिटिशन्स में, तो काफी अच्छा लग रहा है. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द quadruple for God's sake.
Yeah,
We have never spoken about winning the Premier League in the first place. So, there's something good that's going on, and that's why we are so excited about it. So,
yeah.
all right, guys, thank you so much. And for those who have missed out or came in late, please do follow us on YouTube and Instagram. We are back finally, and we are trying to improve on our content. We are working very hard. I'm the only guy right now, so hopefully we'll have a couple of more people sooner who will be regulars. And thank you so much, Ishan, for coming in. I know your battery is extremely low, so thank you, and again, wish you the very
All
best.
right.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you, Gaurav,
Thank
for
you.
being here for the entire time, guys. Love you all. Love you both. Thank you, and see you. Hope we win this game.